This lens is cheap. My 300 millimeter 2.8 I got on sale for $5,500. Normally it's $6,000. This thing is cheap. Cheap. Get out of here. Sorry. This video actually is serious. It's not humorous. I am going to show you, since a couple people have kind of demanded that I crank this video up, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to show you Nikon's best ever made 300 millimeter. Not only that, it's also one of their cheapest. Now, as a Fro boy there, actually, I'm going to start calling him Frillo, with a combination of Fro and Brillo. So, Frillo. As Frillo was telling you there, the current Nikon 300mm 2.8 actually is $6,000. It is an 11-element lens. It is a huge bastard. Now, Nikon recently came out with a 300mm f4, which has 16 elements in it. It has 2 Fresnel elements. It's a new compact design, although it's still a fairly big honker compared to this. This is Nikon's best 300mm they ever made, and I'm going to tell you why. You're going to be going, oh, that old piece of junk can't be that great. Well, yes it is. Let's take off. I love these old-time lens caps that Nikon used to make. Like this, it just fits on there, and that's what you got. Has a built-in lens hood like the 135mm, built-in metal lens hood like the 135mm 2.8 and 3.5 Nikkor, as well as the 180mm Nikkor. Now, this is a Nikon's. They stopped making this in 1999. It is Nikon's Nikkor ED-IF. IF stands for internal focus. Another silky thing that's wonderful about this manual focus AIS lens is that you can actually focus this thing so easy with just a pinky finger. It's just smooth and sexy. It has a removable lens collar right here. It is extremely compact, extremely lightweight. It only has 7 elements in it. The image on this thing will blow the balls off this 6,000, and trust me, I've used the 300mm 2.8 at least 20 times. It will blow the balls right off of Nikon's 300mm 2.8, which is $6,000. Okay? How much is this lens, you want to know? Why, yes, it's typically I find it for like $190, $180. $6,000, $190. Meh, $6,000, $190. 6-element construction versus an 11-element construction of 300mm 2.8. Now, do you need that 300mm 2.8? And is an easy tax write-off if you're a sports or action photographer? Of course, having it in that category is a necessity. This is the rationalization versus the reality. Are you rationalizing it that you need something like that? Or is the practicality that you don't? Rationality versus reality. This is Nikon's, but now if you didn't know which image took which, I actually haven't used this lens for a few months. I was actually just using it indoors, but I also just went outdoors to reconfirm to myself, since I haven't used it in a few months, how incredible this lens. Now, I did a handhold at ISO 400, 5.6 aperture at 1/1000th of a second, handheld. That's after drinking a lot of caffeine. And I did a shot of a car license plate at an angle that was 800 yards away. I measured it, and I was able to zoom in. I've got it currently on the D7100 here. I was able to zoom in, and I was able to read, now there's an expiration tag here in Kentucky. It's about yay big. It's basically about the size of a large postage stamp. I could barely make out the license plate with my eyeballs, and I've got good eyesight. But I was able to zoom in and see on that postage-sized expiration date the month and the year of the expiration on that tiny license plate that was 800 yards away. That's handheld at 1/1000th of a second, ISO 400 5.6 aperture on the Nikon DC100. I just did an hour ago to reconfirm to myself how incredible this lens is, because I knew that to begin with, but I wanted to go over it again before making this video. So, like I said, I typically find these lenses for $190. Now, Nikon's newest version has 16 glass elements in it. They did a recall on it, by the way, due to design flaw of the vibration reduction. It was interfering with certain shutter speeds, so Nikon did a silent recall on their current 300mm f4. Now, this is a 300mm f4.5. Now, that current 16-element stubby 300mm f4 Nikkor is $2,000. So obviously a lot cheaper than the $5,900. With tax, let's just say $6,000 Nikkor 300mm 2.8. This is, price aside, if you're looking at blow up by blow up by blow up, Nikon's finest 300mm they ever produced. Not my opinion, it's hardcore empirical fact. And what is mind-blowing is that this silky, sexy beauty is typically can be had for $190 to $200. So this is super secret lens number whatever in line. A few people have asked about it, and I was going to make a video on it anyway, but I just had to show you how incredible this lens is. Let me take it off here and show you. Like I said, it's only 7-element construction. And I lay my camera down here. The only thing you have to watch for is that there's the rear element is deeply recessed, and the aperture iris is exposed at the rear. So if you purchase one, you need to make sure that the back of the iris is clean and clear, because you're never going to clean off that rear element. You're going to blow the dust off of it, but it's in there a good 7 or so inches. This is an AIS lens. And as you can see here, it doesn't say IF, it is the Nikkor ED-IF. And if you're hunting for this on eBay, if you're going to confuse this with the other Nikkor lens, which actually has 6 elements, the 300mm 4.5, the ED-IF has the gold ring on it right here. That's a way to distinguish it. And also, you notice that the knurling is all the way up to the top here. That will distinguish it from the other 300mm AIS 4.5. And this internal focus, like I said, I mean, it's just silky smooth and so much joy to actually focus this thing with a pinky finger. You know, when you got your hand on the camera. It is just wonderful. It's super compact, lightweight. Like I said, the tripod, the monopod / tripod collar is easily removable. I give it an absolute top highest recommendation ever, and considering the fact that it is the sharpest. Is it the fastest? No. Does it have vibration reduction? No. You know, is it a sports photography lens or an action lens? No, it's not. But it is Nikon's best damn 300mm that they ever produced, and I'm not the first person to say that. There have been many others. And I guess that kind of wraps it up. So, if you want to snag an awesome telephoto lens for less than $200, typically, often I'll see them in minty shape for $300. But I've seen more than a few at $200. But 300mm 2.8. Now, if you're going to be shooting outdoors, or like I just got done shooting a studio show, which normally you never shoot a 300mm in a studio. You're shooting outdoors in any sort of light at all. Do you really think you need something faster than 4.5? Do you really? It is still ED glass, by the way. And that silky smooth internal focus makes manual focus on this baby a dream. $6,000? $200. $6,000? $200. Am I made myself clear? 6 elements, f4.5, lightweight, compact, all metal construction. This will last several lifetimes. Built-in metal lens hood, incredible freaking lens. I don't know if there's any more I can actually say about it. It's the cat's ass. It is silk, sex, and sugar. Okay? For all of those people out there that are asking about, well, please do a recommendation on a 300mm lens that I can afford. You know, one that doesn't cost as much as my car. Well, here it is. And not only is it insanely cheap, but it's also the best 300mm Nikon ever made. Fastest? No. VR reduction? No. For sports or action photography? No. But you have to ask yourself, do you need that? If you do, then you can probably write it off on your taxes and it's part of your business, and you can go out there and shell out the $6,000 and it's no big deal. It's the CODB, cost of doing business, and you're a professional photographer and you write that off on your taxes, and you also charge along the way for the cost of that lens, and it doesn't make any difference that that lens is $6,000. If you're not, here's the option for you. And I'll damn well assure you right now, not my opinion, that this lens produces better results than the $6,000 Nikkor 300mm 2.8. Flat out, no argument, there's no discussion on it. Period. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is another secret lens review from the Angry Photographer. If you like watching this, you can always drop me $1 or $2 via PayPal at the link. Or you could tell me to go screw myself or what cliff to jump off of, whatever makes you the most happy. And thanks for watching, and I've got a ton more videos to make, and I'll make them as I go. I've been sick the past couple days due to a bad meal that I ate. Whatever. Happens to all of us, right? So, catch you later. Bye.